Hello and welcome to another episode of XenoChat. I am one of the hosts, Tyler, along with my co-host, Justin.
How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another episode.
Alright, and we have some returning guests and a new guest today. Returning guests, we have Robin.
Hey, sorry if you hear it humming. It's my computer that I couldn't get to shut up.
And we have Nick.
I'm here too. That I am.
Alright, and we have a brand new guest with us today, and that is Cilantro.
Hello, folks.
Welcome to XenoChat.
Yes,
Formally,
welcome.
I guess.
Yeah, if you're not confused by now.
Still nervous.
You got this.
Yeah, today's a very special episode.
Exactly.
Justin, would you like to go into how special this episode's going to be?
Yeah, so this is kind of a different episode than usual because we always talk about bringing friends into fandom, so that's kind of what happened here. Cilantro's a pretty good friend of mine in the real world, and I was talking to them, and I mentioned Xeno. Actually, Cilantro, do you want to talk about this story about how you and me, we were out?
Yeah, for your birthday last year. This episode's
Yes.
probably been about 9 months in the making.
Oh my god, this episode's literally a baby.
Oh my
That's kind
god.
of another name for this episode, guys. We could call this How to Convey Your Fandom.
That's a good point.
Alright, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
For Justin's previous birthday, the two of us went out after work to this bakery around the corner from us. Got snacks. It was beautiful little chocolate cakes. You got the cutest one.
They were so cute.
And
They
I
were
bought it
adorable.
for like $6.50 or so. It was such a cute little cake. They're so good. Oh my gosh. You guys come
Yeah.
up. You
Cute
guys
and
come to
tasty.
Manhattan. Please go to K-Town
Are the
and go
gargoyles
to
there?
the bakery. You have to go to there.
Yeah, K-Town is like our playground.
It's
that place is
wonderful.
great.
Which bakery in
To the
K-Town?
show.
Okay.
I mean, Paris baguette is nothing to sneeze at either, but like
Yeah, they're
both
good too.
legit.
Yeah, I know my Nuna really loves K-Town, and every shop there and any excuse to go there. But go on.
Anyways, yeah, so I don't quite remember what exactly prompted this, but Justin was talking about Xeno something, and then I said to myself, wait a second, why do I know this name? And I pulled out my phone, and in the Yuki Kajiura section, of course, is the OST for Xenosaga Episode III.
Yeah.
Good one.
And yeah, like, someone just showed me their phone, and I see a picture of Cosmos. I'm like, they're the one.
I am the guinea pig.
The light bulb went off my
The
head.
chosen guinea pig.
The light bulb went off my head. I'm like,
One of us.
yeah, I'm like, I gotta try something here. And so, we were talking about it, and someone just told me that, yeah, I've never really played the games. You were kind of open to it. You're like, yeah, it'd be cool if I could try it, but I don't really have any of the systems. And then I said to myself, Cilantro doesn't really have the systems, but there's an anime, and I can get Cilantro to watch that anime.
Because I'm the anime
And-
person. I came here through Yuki Kajiura, which I came here through Tsubasa Chronicle, Kara no Kyokai.hack, the whole 9 yards there. And oh my gosh, there's an anime now. I'm committed.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's a
so
manga, too.
I was like,
There's a manga?
because, okay,
Since when?
Yes.
Is it canon, or is it more of that Dojin stuff?
It's canon. It's not like the Dojin you've seen.
It's all of the dojins put
The
together.
Xenosaga manga is actually really good.
like the Dojin.
Oh gosh, that means I'm gonna have to go read this too, aren't I? And that's gonna be a separate episode.
You guys were probably just like, well, this cake is so cute, it reminds me of a Nopon. Or Choo Choo.
They better make Napon cakes at some point.
Xeno thingy.
I'm surprised they don't, to be
Actually,
honest.
I probably could make a Nopon cake, but it would be a lot of fondant and therefore taste disgusting.
Save that for a future episode, sir.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I thought to myself, okay, so there's this Xenosaga anime, and a lot of people in the fandom have varying opinions about that anime, but that's often because they played the game first. So I thought to myself, what if I showed the anime to somebody who didn't have much context for Xenosaga. And that's where I was talking to Tyler about that. I was like, yeah, you know, I have an idea for an episode where we show somebody who hasn't seen Xeno anything, and we show them the anime, see what they think about it. And Cilantro had expressed interest in it, but like I said, they didn't have the consoles, but they were interested in the anime. And we started another group, Cilantro, Nick, and David and I, where we were watching Legend of Galactic Heroes, and then eventually we just kind of brought Cilantro into the main XenoChat group. And yeah, I think so far Cilantro's had a pretty good time, even though they've had to pick up all sorts of stuff over the last few months. Man, it's just like all of us making references to games and characters that they had no clue what we're talking about. But yeah, I think Cilantro's gotten a pretty good taste of what the series and what the whole Xenoverse has to offer. Am I right?
I hope so. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface here, but like I've been here for like 6 months already, and then watched almost the entire playthrough of Definitive Edition, thank you, Justin, and a good piece of Xenoblade X last weekend, thank you, Bot.
I wouldn't call that a good piece, but if you did see the beginning.
Yeah, well, it's like the first, half hour of it? It's a good chunk.
It's like the first 15 minutes. I just extended it because I insist on getting to, like, stupid levels before starting. Also, Harlan's out from under the bed.
Yay,
for
Harlan.
cat.
Oh, that's a victory.
We don't have to include that in the episode. I'm just really happy.
And like based on your like of different sci-fi things like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, you know, Babylon 5, Star Trek, I think that you'll like Xenosaga.
Yeah.
Also, I do have to say, on the record, I did watch the ending of Xenosaga because everybody had been watching Nick stream this every Thursday for the past 2 years now, and I had to just join in on the very last episode. So I've seen the ending with zero context.
The context was, Nick, you're not healing enough. Nick, you should be a higher
No.
level. Nick, why aren't you doing this? Nick, why
aren't you boosting?
Nick, wwhy are you not listening to these 10 backseat drivers?
Thank you, Twitch chat, for not being voiced.
I kept being like, guys, if he needs help, he'll ask. If he needs help, he'll ask. If he needs help, he'll
Everybody
ask.
calm the heck down.
Yo, I beat it first try. It was okay.
Yeah.
It would have been great if I had, you know, like if Twitch had like this thing where you had a text-to-speech thing and it just read off everything and it got in the stream. That would have been probably pretty funny.
It would have just been a
The
law.
stream would have been like, why aren't you doing this? He needs to be this level. He's too low level. He should have gone back and done this thing, and then he would have had this, and then...
Whoa, wait. I did not hear about this too low level thing, was it? Did they say that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you're too low a level, and why don't you have, like, the right air to Kaiser? It's just like,
that,
guys,
man.
wait till he asks for help, and then help.
Also, I don't know, but the time that I had gone to try out Air to Kaiser Sigma before that, he was like, he felt like he was harder to beat than the last boss, so I don't know.
If I remember right, he is supposed to be like a super boss, but that's...
Who needs Air to Kaiser?
Yeah, so now you know when you get up to Xenosaga, everybody's playing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you guys backseat drive.
Just gotta you gotta up them stats, and then you gotta send Cosmos in to do that fire kick shit. That's the.
Oh, that's such a good move.
So good. And look, dude, I think I dealt almost 10,000 damage on the. Wait, I shouldn't even say that. This is about Cilantro, you know, doing like saying what Cilantro think about the series, not me saying, oh, well, actually, Cilantro saw this part, so I can say, yeah, like.
Well, how about we get to that part in my notes?
Oh yeah, let's wait till we get up to the Xenosaga part.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, basically this episode is just gonna gauge Cilantro's knowledge of the series, and before we subject them to the anime.
How much do you learn about Xeno just through being in this Discord?
A lot, and not enough at the same time.
I feel like you probably learn very specific information about very specific things, but nothing that gives you any idea as to what the thing is about.
Pretty much.
It's like learning what Voltron is just by knowing who, like, Lance is.
Okay, we're not
Like,
going
I
to
don't
talk
know what
about
the hell's-
Voltron, but that is a very different story.
Yeah, let's...
It is a very different
That
story.
is.
It was just the first fandom that came to mind, which is weird because I'm staring right at a Transformer scroll.
And the irony is that Voltron is like one of the big things that Cilantro and I used to bond
Yeah,
over a
we
lot.
go to the curry restaurant on 32nd Street at the end of every season and be ranting in there for a good hour.
I love when shows can bring you to, complain about them constantly.
Pretty much. And now there is a giant Voltron sitting behind me made out of Legos.
Yes,
Hey, that's pretty cool.
it is
Nice.
very cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so, do we want to get started with, what are your overall impressions of the series, Cilantro?
Alright, let me pull that one out.
We just want to hear your feelings this time, though.
Okay. Mechanically, it seems like the first couple of games were pretty much like turn-based RPGs, and then it evolved into more of an action RPG with a three-dimensional camera because that's what all the technology was moving toward, and so that's kind of what I guess the audience was expected to facilitate because you can't really find too many turn-based RPGs anymore. Still, probably all of them have more story than they had time or budget for, except for what you guys have complained about Xenoblade X, which is they didn't quite do it in a way where you saw the story at all.
I mean, you see a little, but,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah,
on
no, I
going.
feel that's
Go
a
on.
fair assessment from a person who did not play it. No,
Yeah,
I
It
agree
is.
with that, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
Definitive Edition is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that game is so pretty. I don't have words to express how pretty it is, but everybody listening to this knows exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't have to.
It is a game where a lot of my screen caps are just like, look at this scenery, yo! They're just a lot of tourist photos in my screen caps.
I might take
It's
a
like
few
one
of
of those-
those.
It's like one of those anime that's
Go
not
for
just
it.
about the character design, it's about, like, the background design, too, because this...
Yeah, the environments are just
Yeah.
breathtaking.
Mhm.
Like, when you heard that the team at Monolith was helping with Breath of the Wild, you were like, well, yeah, no shit they are.
They better be!
All the Zelda games are also really, really pretty for no good reason. But I'm pretty sure that's because they're all worked on by the same developers. Anyways, moving on here. The
Overall
overall impression of the franchise is it's actually pretty discontinuous, or maybe even internally inconsistent beyond the physical mechanics of the gameplay. Like, like when we were going over some of the characters the other night, apparently the fandom wiki for Gears and Saga is one wiki and Blade is a completely separate wiki. What's up with that?
I think that's the result of a few crazy things in the fandom that I haven't really been a part of.
I feel like that's especially weird whenever the first two games are actually... Like, when the first two games are... Or not the first two games, but the first two different series are different developers, too. Or different publishers and everything altogether.
Yeah.
As I was explaining it, I'm like, this is weird because it would make sense if Gears, Saga, and Blade were all different, but that Gears and Saga share a wiki is, like, the weirdity if they're not going to share a wiki with Blade.
And then
Right.
didn't somebody say that there was Saga content as DLC for Blade X?
No. What I told you was that there were a few
Blade
guest
2.
references in Blade 2.
Ah,
Yeah, Cosmos makes an appearance.
Yes, Cosmos
And
and Telos.
Well, Cosmos isn't DLC, but Telos is.
okay.
They like to throw in a lot of cheeky references in Xenoblade, especially. Well, actually, I say that, but then there's, like, almost two characters ripped to Xenosaga, but anyway.
Yeah. But that's fine. Alright, so
fine.
any, like, overall themes or anything?
I've not done yet. We also have
sorry.
pretty consistent with the android girls, and unfortunate, very horny character designers. There's boob windows in pretty much every game, and a lot of booty shorts. And honestly, I was going to save this for later, but Charla and Pyra need pants.
Yeah, even Ziggy has pants.
Charlotte especially needs pants, because she almost, like, pants teases you. She gives you, like...
she either wears booty shorts or she wears assless chaps.
Yeah, and that was almost okay in the original version, where the graphics were just bad enough that you didn't quite realize that, oh wait, that's her ass hanging out. But now that the game graphics are better, you're like, wait a minute. Charla.
Oh, it's not
I wanted you to wear
khaki
pants.
Oh, no, wait, never mind.
It's
Gonna
just...
freeze your ass off on Valak
Exactly.
Mountain.
It's just distressing how often you can use that Solomon Grundy want pants too meme.
That's great.
And,
That's a great pull.
and finally, my impression of this podcast is that as discontinuous as this entire series is, you guys are all there trying to find some threads of continuity and tie them together.
We're not to that episode yet. What are you doing?
We're not on that episode,
Well-
jeez. But I feel that it's not so much trying to find continuity so much as it is, like, finding things where you can tell that this was written by the same writers.
Yeah, it's looking for, like, all those little nods and Easter eggs, because, like, these games are filled with them. Like, you can find parallels to Gears in Xenoblade 2, even. So it's just, like, as people who are fans of Takahashi's work, it is just kind of nice to be like, oh yeah, I see what he was doing with this, or, oh yeah, I get that reference.
Yeah,
I once...
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Anything
I was
you
just
were
going
about
to say
say was more intelligent.
tends to like to write something different every time, but he gravitates towards the same themes for sure. And I think a lot of what us as a fandom tend to like attach to, at least some of us, is the themes that he likes to write about. So there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think, like, what brings us together is, like, the overall story being told, and it's like, wow, look, he told this overall story, but now this difference happened, and isn't that cool? Or, like, isn't it interesting how he took this story and still came to that conclusion? It's basically being fans of an author, except the author is an author of video games and not books.
Makes sense.
We're just a book club.
Yeah, we're just a book club, but we're, like, not respected as a book club. It's because we don't meet every Thursday at somebody's house where they have baked, like, granola.
Well, we're...
Baked so hard, granola.
That's probably because we're in quarantine right now.
Yeah.
We weren't always in quarantine. There was a time before quarantine,
So are you
when
saying
we would make baked goods.
are you saying
Katsukan.
that we're just going to bake goods for the next meetup? Big granola.
If you want me to make a Zohar cake, I can do that, no problems.
That'd be great.
But it sounds
Yeah,
like you
I'll
probably
actually
want
make
me
a
to
cake
make a
for that, too.
Nabon cake, but it will be half fondant.
I'm pretty sure there's a way we can do that with
I'll bake some
buttercream
stuff for
and
that, too.
coloring so that you don't have to use all that much fondant.
Honestly, Katsukan,
true.
I just made caramel chip dark chocolate cookies and called them black tar because they looked like that.
Whereas I made green tea cookies and called them green tea cookies because I wasn't as clever.
I was going to say because you weren't a hack, but
Oh, no, I thought it was really clever that you called them black tar, and I was like, man, I just got green tea cookies. And
like, these look really bad, but trust me, they're okay. They're passable as food.
Only
they were
okay.
good. They were good.
I was just making a joke. I wasn't begging for pity, okay?
How dare
Cool.
you?
It's totally cool,
How
though.
dare you self-depreciate? There will be none of that
Well,
here.
next time, maybe I'll be there and I can connoisseur all of the baked goods.
That'd be great.
I brought matcha so I could make the green tea cupcakes that I couldn't make. You'll get those.
Ooh.
Anyway, enough about backed goods.
Baked goods.
Kickstarted goods.
Fuck.
We'll talk about some of those later.
Let's move on to Xenogears specifically. So, what do you know about the story of Xenogears?
There's giant robots.
Excellent. Anything else?
Good.
Okay, giant robots is actually right here in all caps, so let's read all the notes that are before that.
Tell me, what does Takahashi think is cool in Xenogears?
Giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one finger. Next finger.
Well, there's clearly a strong Chinese motif on this particular game because the protagonist guy, whose name I'm constantly forgetting, even though you've said it 1,000,000 times, looks like somebody out of a kung fu anime.
I got this. His name is Lei Wong Song. Yes.
If I say Wang Fei Fong, will you figure out why that's not his name?
If I said it's that figurine that Justin posted on Twitter on the teeny handheld DDR pad, it's that guy.
I do. Yeah, it's Fei Fong Wong.
Yeah, it's
It does
Faye.
look like he played DDR quite well.
Just since this is a audio podcast and I know pictures help, but we cannot do that because audio podcast.
Well, we can put that picture in the YouTube
We can,
version.
but for the people who just listen to Spotify, me,
Show notes.
Well, too bad for those folks.
You know that's me too, so it happens.
high five.
Yeah. Wait, hold on, I got this. There we go.
You guys are in
Thank
the
you for
same
high
room.
fiving. Wow, we're right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually bot stand,
Yes.
so we can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. You're right. Yeah. That checks.
Alright, there...
Anything more with Xenogears?
Yes, a couple
Sorry.
other things here. Sutan Uzuki is a bastard, an inventor, a loving father, but a jackass. I don't know why he's a bastard, but everybody hates him. Or maybe it's just
Okay.
you guys, I'm not really sure.
I love that he's considered a loving father.
I mean...
Yeah. How did you get that one?
In Friends, attempting to fill in details where I had none, maybe we scratched that, but I think he's a parent.
Okay, well, I'll take that
And
one.
probably an
That is
antagonist,
accurate.
but there's a big question mark next to that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you know Faye, you know Sutan. Are there any other? Do you know any other of the main cast, or even just characters that you know are in this game, but you don't really know their significance?
The pink guinea pig thing.
Choo choo.
Oh, choo choo.
Yeah, we called it the proto-pawn one evening.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, the predecessor to our favorite fuzzy lemons.
Winnie the
Yeah,
Choo Choo.
she was more a. Honestly, there are things about Choo Choo I like, but yeah,
Okay, all
she's no nay.
I
Would
know
you
is
like to
that
share?
it's a pink, fuzzy, rodent-looking thing. I have no idea what plot significance Choo Choo has.
Are there any other characters?
Blonde.
I am trying to prompt you because I
Yeah.
know you know Nick's two favorites. Who are Nick's two favorite characters?
That blonde guy with the eye patch,
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's one.
and
Okay.
do we get to poke fun at your original art for your profile picture here?
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
I made it. I put it out to
Absolutely.
the world.
Yes.
Go for it. Poke all the fun.
Your
I'm
favorite
ready.
character is Groff, and you really need to make that bathhouse sim. Yes. Make that sim, please.
Please describe this Groff bathhouse. Bathhouse.
Boss house.
The Groff
Groff
bathhouse.
at the ball.
Okay, Groff at the Boff is actually a really good name for it, though.
You make a good point. That's a good idea.
Alright, but describe it. I'll say Nick, describe it.
Oh, you want me to describe it? Okay,
I'm
so
confused.
the idea, because
Is it like
decided
shower
one
with your
day
dad?
that
Because
I
that's
would
horrifying if it
make
is.
Groff pursue the shower instead of the power, and I made a GIF where I edited Groff onto Terry Crews from the Old Spice commercials, punching out the other guy from the Old Spice commercial. So the idea was I was talking to our friend David Trombone Sign one night about RPG Maker because David was messing with that. And I said, you know what, I should make a game about Groff actually pursuing a trip to the showers because of the Old Spice commercial that I based it on. Did that get on here? Did the description?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, probably know it's in your recording. It's just not in our headphones.
It is, and it was weird. I was kind of cutting out there.
I can edit
But
it.
That's fine.
yeah. So yeah, I didn't have a lot more than that, other than maybe Groff would seek out the divine soap. But yeah, we'll try and make that.
I thought it was a bath towel, but okay.
Well, you know,
Could be a divine.
well,
bath
he's got
towel.
maybe he has a divine bath towel too. He's got to wear a bath towel. You
Well,
can't
it has
play
to
his
be.
naked
Actually, no,
Groff.
it has to be soap because my fist is the divine breath,
The body
blossom of
wash.
fallen seed. So it has to be a blossom scented soap. Any other Gears characters where you kind of know them but don't know where they fit in?
At that particular point, I'm kind of grasping at straws here. I do have a couple other notes about the game in general, though.
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
This was one of the only games where they translated everybody's names and the rest of them are left as is until you get to Blade 2. I think this was the one.
They did have some translation weirdness where they just... It's not so much they changed the translation as they just did a bad job. So, whereas Blade 2, spoilers, I guess, for the end of for later in this very podcast, Homura-chan was changed to Pyra. This wouldn't be so much that, so much as, like, they would have been, like, in Japanese it would have been, you know, Pita, and they would have named her, I don't know, Pita, where it would have made more sense to translate it to Pyra.
I think it's okay to justify to you right now that the reason for a lot of the flaws in the Gears script is that it had like one localizer working a very stressful amount of dialogue under a short amount of time. But yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, it's not so much changed as weird decisions were made because they were not supervised.
This is also during a time where the whole dealing with all the religious content, there was a lot of taboo stuff in there at the time.
Censorship. Wonderful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it was very common.
Yeah.
Isn't it
in
still
the
pretty
mid to late
common,
90s.
though? Like, they've calmed down a notch, but it's
It
still there.
is in...
Really depends on the publisher.
Yeah, it's... yeah, exactly. In some ways, it's a humongous improvement, but in other ways, yeah, we do still have some of the same issues.
Anything else for Gears?
Okay, I have 3 more bullet points here.
Okay, go right
One
ahead.
is the Gazelle Board of Whack Jobs. Nick, please explain again.
Oh, the Gazelle Ministry. Yeah, the Gazelle Whack Jobs. So, they're a bunch of...
Don't do a good job explaining it, though. Please don't.
Yeah.
I will do,
Vaguest terms possible.
I will do my best. So, that is a collection of datas from Star Trek saying shit like, well, I want to live forever, and this is my plan to live forever. Is that bad enough?
I think you could
That's
also mention that
perfect.
they're CRTVs.
Yeah, they're also, they
CRT-TVs.
work on CRTVs that are, like, duct taped to a sphere made out of sheet metal.
What?
And I assume that the core of it is, like, some kind of ball of anti-grav energy, because somehow it just fucking floats there.
What the hell?
Now, Cilantro, quickly cover your ears, please. I have a question. Are you covering your ears? Okay, great. Isn't it like the Soul 300 or something, or 3000?
3000.
Because the thing that always got me is Soul to me is always an acronym for Satellite of Love, a la Mystery Science Theater 3000, and that always fucking gets me.
Yeah, it's actually probably not at all named after Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear.
Okay, so it could be the satellite of life.
Yeah, I think you're
so
right.
the Gazelle
I feel like it's
Ministry.
Yeah.
It's
Gazelle
I'm not
Ministry.
sober while we were
Space
doing
Odyssey
this recording.
reference.
My favorite metal band is Gazelle Ministry.
Can we talk about how the Gazelle Ministry is apparently conducting experiments that involve sending cheesy movies to somebody?
Probably. They're probably
Okay.
actually Netflix or something.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. Okay, Cilantro, you can
Hallmark
uncover your
Channel.
ears. Thank you.
Alright, are you sure all those cheesy sci-fi movies aren't exactly what's being watched by, what's his face from Secret of Evermore?
I love that idea that, like, the kid from Secret of Evermore, was subject to Mystery Science Mystery Science
1000.
Theater, Mystery Science 3000, and just kind of was like, wow, these movies are great!
I would love the idea of the Sci-Fi Network being headed by the Gazelle Ministry.
Anyway,
So
is that
should
it
we
for
make
Gears?
Sharknado 8 or...
Yes, let's have Sharknado 8. Last 2 bullet points are, there's that one walkthrough that David can't keep a straight face about. He was telling me about in, one of our very first conversations. I cannot find the link to it anywhere, even though I know he gave it to me. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's probably on
Yeah.
your site somewhere.
It's a Rope of Robots. But I will also bring up again that the LP by The Dark Id is totally worth your time, and also is not only a half-decent game guide, as far as, if you want, a guide that doesn't tell you absolutely everything, good, but also has basically all the dialogue with some little commentaries thrown in.
Yeah, that was a tie-in to my next point, which was, they ran out of time/budget on Disc 2, and basically everything is just like, okay, let's put all the plot in novel form, go!
Yeah, it was like...
Technically, it's in screenplay form.
Yeah.
Oh, that just makes it
Stage
worse,
play.
because stage play format eats up so much space.
Well, Square Enix was like, games should not take more than 2 years to make. You guys better finish this shit up.
It wasn't Squenix then. It
Yeah.
was just Square.
Oh yeah,
It's a
you're right.
Squaresoft.
My bad.
That's okay.
It's who we know now as Square Enix.
Well, anyways,
You who shall be called Squeenix.
well, that's all I got for
Alright.
Squeenix.
Anyways,
That's fine. Okay,
All
so we
right.
can move ahead to
Squeenix.
Saga. What do you know? What do you know about Saga?
Okay, let's start with it's probably Jin's favorite game, because we all know that he has a Xeno shrine that is mostly devoted to Cosmos.
To be fair to Tyler, if you have a Xeno shrine, it's going to end up mostly being devoted to Cosmos.
Listen, Tyler's
Yep,
just a
this is
devout
true.
Christian, okay?
Okay, well, Cosmos
Yes.
is clearly the mascot character of this entire series, and this series is kind of really freaking Christian. It's kind of like disturbing levels of how Christian it is to me, so it's kind of like, do I really want to play this game?
I mean, I think you'll be surprised at the Jewish influence as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of Kabbalah influence.
Mhm.
Doesn't
But
make
go
me
on.
any happier. Like, it's just kind of, okay, let's throw all this Abrahamic religious text into this video game, go. And I'm like, why? It's kind of making me a little bit nervous about the anime.
The anime actually doesn't touch on it too hard,
Really?
so you don't have to be too scared. I guess for me, it's always been a thing where I've seen a lot of other religions be treated as like, wow, this is great source material for me to build my own personal mythos out of, and Xenogears was one of the first things where it was like, no, I'm going to take Christianity and use that as the building blocks for a mythos. So that was really exciting to me. But obviously, yeah, it still does rely on some knowledge of Abrahamic religion.
I got most of my Abrahamic religious education from my peers and from The Simpsons.
I got most of mine through Xenogears.
And mine from Xenosaga.
I grew up Catholic. Hey.
Ew.
Yep, and I used to live in a very, very Christian country, so...
You mean not this one?
Not this one.
There's
Even
places
more
that
so.
are worse than here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Italy.
Sure there are.
But anyway,
Basically,
But besides
anywhere like Western Europe.
bad-mouthing countries,
Justin was a member of the Ottoman Empire.
I can't believe Justin was in the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh gosh.
yeah, right.
But tell me about the story of Xenosaga, to the extent that you can.
It was sold to me as, and I quote, lesbian space opera, end quote.
Who could have possibly told you that?
I don't know.
It was me.
Maybe it was you.
Are there any characters?
Oh,
Or any other notes before I get to characters?
yet more giant robots, but this time you can ride in them. And you can build them and you can buy them, but they're worth an obscene amount of money. Then most of the rest of this is pretty much just character notes.
Okay, so tell me about the characters. Any main... which characters are important to the story? Who are the main characters?
Well, let's start with Cosmos, who's the mascot character, the most beloved character, the shrine maiden of all of your Xeno shrines, and probably has a Pinocchio-like character arc because she's an android.
Okay.
You guys
Solid
have all
take.
said
Yeah,
something
that's solid,
similar
yeah.
to that, so that's kind of what I pieced together.
Alright,
I
any
think,
other
I think I
characters?
said in front of you something to the degree of, I don't really understand on like a character level why people like Cosmos, but I understand on a she's a badass level, and then by the end of the games I was like, yeah, I get it. But other than that,
She's a robot girl with guns. You gotta respect that.
that's what I mean.
There's, 7 playable characters, I think it was? And
Can you list them?
that was what was driving me nuts during my prep time. I got a few of them, but I'm not sure if I got everybody.
I think I
Alright,
switched
if
through.
you can.
Well, that's fine. Just
Okay,
talk about
we
who you
got
know.
Cosmos,
It's fine if you don't get
We
everybody.
got Shion, who desperately needs a therapist.
Mhm.
We got Ziggy, who everybody in the server is got a thing for. I don't understand it, but
You will too.
You just had to bring that up here, didn't you? You just
well,
had
yes,
to.
we do have to talk
How
about
will
Ziggy.
hot
bothered.
not-
And you, because
If you're
you
not
brought
horny
it up.
for Ziggy, you're probably wrong. Okay, listeners,
Yeah.
if you're horny for Ziggy, please like this.
We got
And if you're not horny for Ziggy, please stop listening to.
No,
to this.
no,
This
come
is
back.
important.
Oh, no,
you gotta
no,
turn
no,
them
we're
around.
kidding.
You gotta sell them on Ziggy.
Unfollow,
Come back.
block me.
Come back. We'll refer you to.
Yeah, sell me on Ziggy. Which I haven't been yet. There's
Did you not see his bathing suit?
we will get to the Ziggy Mankini at some point. Let me finish. We have
Carry on.
Junior, who I know that HK cosplayed as during the last convention. That cosplay looked amazing. I don't know anything about him. There is Momo, who is also a little android girl and does not get quite as much poster time as Cosmos for being the android girl. And we have Jin, who looks like he's probably supposed to be a callback from Xenogears, but honestly, he just looks like he's from the wrong anime.
Would you
Fair.
explain why?
He
Oh shit! Sorry.
the setting of Saga looks very much industrial, kind of almost sanitized in a way, and everybody's looking like they're wearing some sort of either modernish or maybe some sort of a cyberpunk kind of aesthetic there, but he's wearing a Chinese getup. I'm like, how does this fit? It doesn't.
Yeah, Jin's like walking up, like one of us walking up to a man in caveman garb.
To be fair, they do address that within the story.
They do, but Cilantro does not.
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
just
didn't
saying.
they say that he's like a librarian and
Exactly.
also a weeb?
Yes,
Yeah,
well, kind of.
that's yeah.
Yep.
Mostly the librarian.
But you'll find out more about that when you get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all just about
Yeah,
first impressions.
Alan, I know that he's a major character at some point because he does happen to be Shion's extraneous love interest who isn't Cosmos, but honestly, he does not deserve to be the rebound relationship. Shion needs some time as a single lady.
Oh man, Alan is unfortunately kind of a simp. I like Alan, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. There's somebody named Telos, who is basically the same thing as Cosmos, but evil.
Yep.
We have Chaos, who is basically God. There's Cosmos, who is supposed to be, I guess I want to say the Holy Spirit, but she's cast as Mary Magdalene. Okay, sure, whatever. I know enough Christianity to make that assumption. And there's a little kid who's in some like pocket dimension in the lab somewhere, and I'm pretty sure he's actually supposed to be the Son and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit Trinity there.
I can see why you would think that. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so we have actual Jesus as canon somehow. I don't understand it. I'm not sure I'm going to.
Yeah, that tracks.
Because I saw the ending out of context, I thought that Wilhelm was kind of anticlimactic, and Kevin should just, like, leave the game, please and thanks.
Any reason why Wilhelm was anticlimactic?
He seemed like a bag of air, honestly.
He spouted a lot of technobabble at the end of the game, to be fair.
He does. That I would agree.
I was thinking more about that cutscene with him and baby Kevin, where it was like, this seems like a corporate millionaire who's adopting a kid and grooming them, but like, you know how Seto Kaiba got adopted out of an orphanage, but he was like very much in control of that deal and how it went through? This kid had no such control. He was just kind of being moved through an ideology, and like you would expect a small child to, because they don't have that same sort of adult brain yet.
You know, like, that's an interesting
that Wilhelm
take.
is Pegasus?
What were you saying? What? Sorry.
I was saying, are you saying that Wilhelm is Pegasus?
No, that's not the guy who adopted.
God, if only.
Honestly, Pegasus is gotta have an equivalent somewhere else. We need somebody who's extremely melodramatic. Like, unnecessarily melodramatic. I hope this series has somebody. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Albedo?
Yeah, Albedo.
That's pretty much the only person I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, he's on my list here too, but the only note I have next to Albedo is, Nick is one with this character.
I was gonna say, like, I think that Groff and Krellian are actually pretty good in the melodrama department.
They are very good at that, but they are in a different game.
But there's
I'm just saying in the series
Saga
as a whole, like, if you want that, I think you'll be satisfied.
We also have a spaceship named the Elsa, which has a captain named Tony. Or no, was that the driver?
Driver.
Oh, right, that was how your fantasy was going.
I wasn't supposed to tell you, but, you know.
Well, you did mention one day that you wanted to buy yourself a boat and have a driver named Tony.
Yeah, so that I could wear my I'm a boozer hat. Like,
yes, the boozer hat.
Said captain.
And live out your life as Matthews incarnate.
Good, you remember the name. Good.
Yes.
Now, this is one where you did read a doujin of it before you experienced anything about it.
Not really. That was just more like solidifying the names that I'd heard, or rather, read, getting tossed around.
This episode is actually about how doujin is a good way to enter a fandom.
God, it isn't.
It's not.
It isn't. No.
Unless we're talking about Voltron, in which case I will point you in the right direction.
That might make me like Voltron more.
Any other Saga characters?
I don't have any more character notes. The last thing I got here is of course, we have to talk about the Mankini.
Please talk about the Mankini.
Yep.
That made a lasting impression on me. It came so far out of left field, I did not realize how far left field actually went.
It's like the shape of it just burns into your brain, right?
I mean, it's very
to be fair, you gotta do quite a bit to actually get that Mankini.
I played some hard ass Hackox for that shit.
Yeah, it's not something that's really like in the story.
I enjoyed it.
It's just more
so
of like
you have
a
to play the mini games in
reward
order to unlock the extra costumes. I get it.
yeah.
No wonder you were playing so much Hackox.
It's like
Not
one of
all
the
of the
best
extra
thought out
costumes.
mini games I've ever played. It's really good.
I know.
It's
I
fun.
know that Nick
I like it a lot.
loves that game, but pretty much everybody else has said something less dramatic about it. In fact, a few people actually hate it.
No,
Some
that's
of us
completely
can't
fair.
three-dimensional reasoning.
I can't three-dimensional reasoning either.
I can't disconnect it from the thought of how much time I spent enjoying Monkey Ball. And just something about the music and the layout of it. I know it's a completely different game, but it reminded me of Monkey Ball in some ways.
It's also something I've been seriously considering submitting to Bikini Armor Battle Damage, because, honestly, that should make their honorable mentions list. They have a bingo card on that particular blog, and there is an entire section for male character models who get bingo.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at that in a while, but
I can send
Yeah.
you the link again.
it's pretty good.
Lastly, back to Cosmos again. Based on some Twitter art that somebody dropped a couple weeks back, apparently, when Cosmos is low on battery, her eyes turn red.
Should we comment on this? I will just say that could be.
Cosmos has a transforming boob window. As mentioned previously, a lot of people have boob windows, but Cosmos is the winner for the boob window.
It's really a missed opportunity for Ziggy, in my opinion.
Doesn't he also kind of have a boob window?
He has a boob
He was the
window,
first
transforming
He
though.
does.
Like, we're not talking... Ziggy does not have Metal Greymon levels of transforming boob window, but he does have a boob window.
I did not
If
think we were
only-
gonna get into Digimon at this point, but okay, sure.
Only he had Metal Greymon levels of transforming boob window. That's all I'm saying.
And also the feet. The feet on all of the androids has kind of just baffled me. I know
Dude,
somebody
it looks awesome.
explained that they're supposed to be hooves, but it's like hooves with a spike heel?
I mean, can you run faster than a horse? Clearly, hooves are the...
Yes,
Like,
but commit
the
to
best
one
way
or
of
the other.
travel.
You either have the hooves,
Because we
or
can't
you
run
have
like a
the
horse.
you
But,
have
you know, if you have a
the
hoof,
high
then you
heel
can.
shoes.
Okay,
but
maybe
not
the spiked
both.
heel would be...
If you have both, you're not
harder.
going to outrun the horse.
God, I hope you play Nier someday.
One day. One day.
I don't know how that works, but they make it look really cool. That's all I'll say about that.
And I think somebody made a comment about inconsistent characterization of Shion at some point, but I'm not sure how true that is or how much I misheard it.
I don't necessarily think it's inconsistent characterization so much as she kind of goes through a bit of a change in like the second game, and that kind of threw some people for a loop. But
Mostly
like,
stylistic.
if you think about it, it's really not as bad as people made it out to be. At least in my opinion.
I don't think so either. I think that a lot of that stuff with Shion and 2 is the thing about like the change in, you know, like voice direction and some other things, but you know, this is not the episode to discuss that, I suppose.
Yeah,
no, that
yeah,
we have a whole
absolutely
Shion
not.
episode for that.
we do, where we go into
Alright,
that
I'll put it on my
actually.
to-do list.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's all I got for
Okay.
Saga.
All right. Well,
Alright, now we can move on to Xenoblade.
So Xenoblade, let's pretend I haven't watched Justin play through most of this game because I just do not have the dexterity for that kind of a thing. Between the 3-dimensional camera and the live action, and the fact that you have to use a sword. I don't know what it is, but every time some video game hands me a sword, I'm like, what do I do with the big knife thing?
Oh, yeah, Cilantro's
the pointy
big on
end
Call of
goes
Duty.
into the enemy.
You lie!
I'm kidding, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to play Call of Duty if you handed me the instruction manual.
Yeah, the pointy end goes into the enemy.
Yeah, you just...
But 3-dimensional camera!
Yeah, you basically just move the right stick around until you find a thing, and then you hit
But
a
joysticks.
trigger button.
What do I do with the freaking joystick? Joysticks are evil.
You know, if you click the trigger button quick enough in that game, you just auto-lock on. It's kind of stupid.
What I think will be interesting, though, is that I feel that Gears, it's a good introduction to 3-dimensional games, because you can rotate the camera in that, but it's a very simplistic thing, and you don't really need to.
Mm-hmm.
And in Saga, it of course is a fully 3D game, except that you have a fixed camera.
Yeah, Saga is fixed camera. Gears, I would say there are some cases in which I feel like it is very beneficial to you that you rotate that camera a little bit, but it's all like
there's
L&R Square Enix camera.
Yeah, it's a very, like, introduction to the concept of moving the camera.
But I say with Gears, though, try not to rotate the camera too much, because you can get very disoriented if you do that. There's been times where when I played Gears, where like I would try way too hard to rotate the camera, and I'd end up overcompensating, and then I end up getting lost and just like getting very, very disoriented.
I held the controller for like the first 15 minutes of Blade X last weekend because we were still waiting for that memory card, and I had to go put my head down after maybe the first level up because just moving the camera made me dizzy.
You know, I think that sometimes... This is a good point. I think that sometimes Xenoblade X could use that same compass that you have in Xenogears, because at least when you turn the camera, you know, like, which direction you're in. And it does have a thing in X where it's like, oh, it tells you if you're at the back, the front, the left, the side, not the left or right, specifically. But
yeah, it tells you that, like, but it's very enemy specific.
But yeah, that's only specific to the enemy. But it would be really cool, you know, to see that compass from Gears.
But back to the first
Somebody made
Xenoblade.
mods. Alright, yes, the first Xenoblade.
Yes.
Let's pretend I haven't seen it. So, honestly, I had a really hard time picking out the protagonist from the lineup. And the big difference between Blade and the rest of these is, instead of just, there is a giant robot, this time, the planet is a giant robot. To which I have to ask myself, where is the command console? How do you plug yourself into the giant robot? You gotta move the giant robot!
So, like, if I were to ask you, based on your anime background of logic, who you thought the protagonist was, who would you say?
You see, this is why it was hard, because usually the protagonist sticks out like a sore thumb because they have the brightest or most obnoxious color hair. If you take a look at any magical girl show, it's the pink one. It's always the pink one.
Shit, Ryan was the protagonist the whole time.
No, I would have thought
right?
that based on what we've heard from you before that you would say, oh yeah, it's okay, in that case, it's Shulk because blonde hair. But, yeah,
well,
I wasn't
Fiora
sure.
is
That's
also
why I prompted...
blonde, first of all, and secondly, until somebody straight up said Ryan is a redhead, I thought his hair was brown.
Ryan's a redhead.
Yeah, he's like reddish brown, I feel like. But, you know.
But yeah, I was looking for somebody with, like, a really obnoxious color. So, yeah, I couldn't figure it out, and then eventually I'm like, who is this person? This person that all of you people seem to be kinning me with, who we are not going to disclose because that would disclose my real name. But yeah, so I had to know everything about this one particular character, and then I realized, oh, they are not the protagonist. It's that guy! Now I know who the protagonist is! It took me a while.
So now we know that your name is not Shulk.
No, I don't think anybody in the world has a name close to that. I could be completely wrong.
I'm not going to bring up the character that I said, hey, but these two characters in Xenoblade, they sound like these names. But I'm not going to bring that up here because, reasons. Good reasons.
What a great vague sentence.
Good reasons for things that you don't like specifically.
Yeah, anyways. Shulk is a good boy. And Fiora is not his sister, despite also being the other blonde character. She's the girlfriend. And that really threw me for a loop.
Oh, I know that you've been watching Justin's streams. So yeah, what other characters stood out?
Fiora stood out because I thought that they were gonna go with the full girlfriend in the fridge trope with her, so I got very scared for a moment. It wasn't a moment, it was several streams, and I'm very, very glad that she came back. We discussed Charla, because Charla and Pyra both have the same problem, they need pants.
Yeah.
Charla also needs some better writing because her romantic arc really felt forced.
I'm working on it.
I'm looking forward to that fic.
Thank you.
Ryan, clearly a himbo with a jock brain.
That just sounds like you said himbo twice.
Yeah. Himbo squared.
Yes.
It kind of with Ryan is like, why are you hanging out with Shulk? Oh,
There's a guy called Van Damme, and I feel like he's supposed to be like Sid from the Final Fantasy series, because he seems, or I am under the impression that he comes up in multiple games as multiple different personae.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. We're gonna need to cut that piece where I stumbled.
No, it's fine.
We have Melia, who is our angel princess good girl. She's got the tiny wings. I don't know how those are aerodynamic. It kind of bothers me.
Hers are more aesthetic.
But still, there's other people who have gigantic ass wings on their heads, and I'm wondering how on earth is that supposed to work, at all.
They flap.
They flap?
Yeah.
You put all of the weight in these 2 points on the top of your head? It doesn't seem like it's gonna distribute... You know what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were some sort of aerospace engineer.
I'm sorry, I thought about physics for a moment there, and then I'm like, you know what? This is anime. No, stop talking about physics.
Start thinking about anime. Anime is they have wings, they fly.
Alright, sure.
Mm-hmm. And it looks cute.
Is this the part where we get to, call you out about Dixon? Who is not the main character, but you go on like he is the main character, and if I asked you why you like him, you went on longer than that one time I asked a different friend why they hate Mollis Misere. And that was basically an hour and a half rant about why Gakuto sucks.
Well, in my defense, I don't understand what you just compared me to.
Somebody who is equally passionate about a completely different subject.
Yes, I am passionate about this subject.
Dixon.
Yes. I maintain that I did not go on for 2 hours, though.
You probably could if we let you.
Well, that's for a future episode.
Alright, yeah, we just have an entire episode just monologuing about why Dixon is an awesome character.
Monologue soft.
It's on our list.
Oh shit, Dicksoft is a terrible name. Why did you let me say
Well,
that?
we have Dixon Pixon already.
I do have Dixon Pixon already.
uh,
But Dicksoft is still a really bad name.
And then...
We're just gonna have to, like, bleep all of that.
It stays.
Fine.
What, are you
Thank
going to
you,
call
Jen.
him
We give
Richard
this
the rest of the
explicit
way?
rating. No, that's not
no.
how, like, the name
No.
Dixon works.
Richard, son of
It's not
Dick.
like... then it
Oh,
would be, his
God.
name would be, like, Dick Dixon.
My
Yeah.
thought was more just about Metal Wolf Chaos. Richard!
See, I was thinking about Xenosaga, where there's the one character who goes, "I'm Richard!"
That
And then,
works also?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works way better.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers for Xenosaga. There's a character named Richard who introduces himself.
How dare you?
I know.
No.
I'm a terrible
spoil.
person.
Herman.
Herman isn't introduced.
Oh, I guess not.
Well, I guess this is another point where we get to say, well, while we're talking about DILFs in this particular fandom, we also...
Excuse you, he's a gilf.
I mean, maybe that's just you for specific.
I want to see where this is going.
We can cut that if you would prefer.
No, I've already called myself out for it.
Alright, we also have Dunban, who is clearly the former protagonist after the first 5 minutes of cutscene, but, like,
Hell yeah.
he's totally a dad character.
He is very spiritually a dad.
He's too old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was Angela in the fandom who made like the connection where it was just like, look, it's Mom Car and Dick's son and Dun Dad.
Beautiful.
Dunban is, like, amazing because he's just like your dad that makes really dumb dad jokes and thinks he's really clever about it.
But he
And you can
also
see
said that, hey, yo, you're going to, commit to my sister, right? I totally
Yes.
support your marriage.
He's super he's completely like, man, if only I could marry Shulk. Oh wait, my sister can.
I mean, I expressed my thought on the Queer Theory episode.
Yeah,
so.
flashback right there. Let's see, what else? I'm missing one character. Oh, Riki! Yes. The Napons. Yes, Pawn?
The
Why
original
no merch?
Fuzzy Lemon.
Why do the Fuzzy Lemons have no merch?
We all ask that.
Yep. All we got is a keychain.
Got a keychain. Why not a stuffy?
They recently released a keychain, and yeah, a plushie. Nintendo, Monolith, give us a
We're all
plushie.
hungry.
A Ricky plushie would sell. A Tora plushie would sell. Even a Tatsu plushie would sell. Even if people will buy it to burn it, it will still sell.
Plus, we made Nene and Kino, so we're ready.
I like Tatsu. I know that's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I now have to go back to, what did I say during the dress rehearsal about the fruit trio, the fruit trinity, whatever. We have the fuzzy lemons.
Ricky is a...
And then we have the
Yeah.
pineapple Riki, who then, as of last stream, became Durian Riki.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit Trinity.
Oh yeah, I put him in that outfit because there's a scene
I
that's
know.
coming up where that outfit will make it
Just
really
having
funny.
a random durian there for comic effect, or actually something plot related?
Something plot
Kind
related,
of
you'll see.
unfortunate you can't dress up Ricky before that that like one where they meet him and they kick him around, because imagine him in the Titan armor with like all those spikes in them, because like
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't hurt, right?
If I recall right, at least in New Game Plus, you definitely can have him still be wearing that armor. You would just have to end the game with him wearing the Durian suit.
And
That's good.
doesn't the
That's
cutscene
good.
viewer also let you change outfits?
I haven't used Cutscene Viewer.
Yeah, you can. You can do that.
Test this for us, Nick.
I will have to try that out.
All right.
I should use Cutscene Viewer because I keep getting all of my cutscenes in the night times.
You can set the time of day, you can set the costumes, and all that stuff.
You even know when the cutscenes are about to come up. You can set the clock back.
That's true.
Yeah, I've done that a few times where I've just been like, let me just make it day because I noticed that it's night and I'm sick of having all of my cutscenes during the night.
Anyways, Angel Princess Melia gets more development in Future Connected, but all I know about Future Connected is that she gets character development, and also there's that one side quest with the giant flan.
That is also where you kept hearing me refer to Nopon as fuzzy lemons.
You've been consistent about the fuzzy lemons. It doesn't have anything to do with any of the specific games. It's just been fuzzy lemons, fuzzy lemons, fuzzy lemons.
They are fuzzy lemons.
Every time I hear things about giant flan, I think of the Wonderful 101. Because, like, that weight that you can form, or whatever, it looks just like flan.
Oh, that's right. It does look like that.
Okay. Is that all you have for Blade?
Well, do we want to go and talk about how some people have very specific taste in very specific characters, or are we not going to call them out?
I mean, there's a lot of characters to create.
The character tree in that game is huge. It's kind of... No, it's just terrifying. Not kind of terrifying. It's straight up terrifying how many characters are in that.
I'm just trying to think of, like, for Blade, besides calling me out for, like, the fact that I can go on a 2-hour rant about Dixon, who else could you call out? Because I'm okay with you making fun of me for that, because I'm here to defend myself, and my defense is...
That's a great defense.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious I can be called out. But
well, we called you out about Albedo and Graf.
And Graf, yeah.
Yeah. My second call-out post is coming.
Why do you like such
we didn't
problematic characters? I don't know.
Yeah, you guys could have an entire episode about problematic characters and why you love them.
Yep.
We do. It's called the URTV episode.
Oh, you did it already?
I was not able to be on that episode, though. That's the thing.
Do it again. Do it again.
That was like before I was able to play through all the parts that I would be required to understand or not get spoiled about said parts.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, the thing about problematic characters is that shockingly they're interesting in that they don't have to adhere to societal norms. But anyway, who would you be calling out? I will say in a easily deletable segment.
Butthead lady.
Okay, so still me.
No, I'm pretty sure that we call out Nick on this one too.
Okay, so Nick and me, again, being called out because we both think Lanata is, like, super cool.
Oh, I see the butt now. Okay.
Oh, Linata? Yeah.
Yeah, Lunata's super cool.
Honestly?
She does have a butt head, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Machina character designs are all very much have the same thing going on as, like, Cosmos, and I'm like, that looks cool, but too much boobs.
Wait.
Lunata's actually pretty covered up, but she does have a butt head.
Robot Ninja. Vinaya is the one with, like, a lot of boob. And honestly, you can say Lunata has the butt head, but you could also say that about, like, almost every character in Rugrats, so, you know what.
Alright, fair point.
Eggo with that thigh gap.
Yeah, the way that a lot of the Machina and Charla stand, it's like, this is a bit unnatural, and it works okay with the Machina because they're not Hans. They're not supposed to be exactly human analogous.
I have a slight argument
but with
for
Charla, it's really fucking weird.
I have a slight argument for the Charla thing because, like, one thing holds a heavy-ass gun, so she does slump a lot, but another thing is, like, I don't know, she just kind of seems lazy on that part.
The other thing it probably could be is that they only have one particular walk animation graphed to a very specific, what do you want to call it, a doll form? It's not a doll form. You know what I'm trying to say, but, like, the running mechanics for male hip is different from that of a female hip by a handful of degrees, but you really need to compensate by making a second character model with a slightly different run mechanic.
If I'm going to call out anyone's walk animation, I'm sorry, but it's going to be Melia's.
Yeah, the pigeon toed thing is really dumb.
Hers aren't that great.
It makes absolute sense in a way because of the prim, proper, whatever bullshit, but at the same time, I'm like, do we have to go that exaggerated with it, you know?
The pigeon toe walk is a real thing, though.
I wasn't sure if Melia's walk just looked so bad because, looking at everybody's Melia and how they dressed Melia, a lot of people have very similar aesthetics for Melia, and I wasn't sure if it was just the hip armor made it look much worse than it was.
Oh, she's definitely running pigeon-toed, because
No,
that is just kawaii as a default standard that's pretty kawaii across the board.
Melia fucking penguin walks, man.
So besides walking animation, do you have anything else to say for Xenoblade?
Do we want to do this in terms of I haven't seen anything, or I have seen something? Because I've seen pretty much everything at this particular point, except for the side quest and the actual ending.
Yeah, at this point you're at the, you're at the big twist betrayal, and I don't think you've seen any conclusions to that betrayal.
No, not yet, but, I'm still very fixated on this is a gigantic robot, but there's no control panel, but then Eggle somehow made the giant robot walk, because he is a giant robot in himself, who made a bigger giant robot to control the biggest giant robot.
He isn't a giant robot. Eggle is a normal-sized people.
I think you gotta think of the robots themselves as their own, consciousness, in this case, a lot of the time.
Have you ever seen Headmasters from Transformers? Because I know the answer to that is definitely going to be yes.
The answer to that is pretty much no. I was not really a big giant robot person until the Voltron remake a couple years ago.
I can't believe the answer to that is an absolutely yes, I know what you're about to say.
No, I don't know what you're about to say.
But yeah, he's kind of like Eggle basically made the Cerebros to the Fortress Maximus, as all of our listeners will understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, Eggle made the Cerebrus to the Gluteus Maximus.
Yes, exactly, yeah, you got it, yeah.
So, wait, when we say Cerebrus, are we talking about, that Final Fantasy game, Dirge of Cerebrus, where... Yeah,
yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
That. Cerebros from Final Fantasy VII was then in Transformers Headmasters.
Yes, and the edgy vampire pretty boy man fights Shulk.
Yes, Vincent became the brain for Fortress Maximus and fought Shulk, yes.
Shulk is
if we're talking about
a 9-year-old girl or something, I don't know.
What?
Yes, and then Kingdom Hearts.
Okay,
good job.
okay.
Kingdom Hearts is a step too far.
We're getting way off topic here, yeah.
I think we gotta roll this
reel
back
it
a
in a
little.
bit. Do we just want to move on to Cross now, or?
The thing is that for the longest time I thought that Blade 2 and Cross were the same game, and then somebody corrected that pretty much last weekend. So, good job. My only note for Blade is Mithra and Pyra and her pants, which we've already discussed.
That can't be your only note for Blade Cross.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything I know about Cross can only be discerned by the average user in the first what was it, the first hour that you played?
Again, since part of my time was just spent grinding, I would say 15 minutes.
First 15 minutes of the game, there you go.
We didn't even pick a faction in Blade, we just said, yeah, Nagi will join Blade.
I've been trying to do everything to prevent that, but you know what? I guess you can't do any more of the story without doing so, fine, I'm going to join the organization.
Briefly. She's trying to be Disney's Hercules.
It's a video game.
Fine, I'll join the government organization. Yeah, it's a giant open world, and there's way too much on the screen. I can't read a damn thing of it. I need a new pair of glasses.
Oh, no, don't worry. You can't read it no matter what your glasses are doing.
That's just the Xenoblade Cross experience.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of squinting and going, huh?
Mm-hmm. You need like a big-ass TV just to play it.
And we have
Even
a big
then, I
and
need
it's
a
not
bigger set of
helping.
glasses. I know you guys have complained previously that it's got all of the story in side quests, and you're not handheld the way you are in most of the other games, which have a pretty coherent plot structure and then side quests.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys have mentioned some of the other blades offhand before. Besides Elma and Lynn and Irina and Irina's partner, whose name I am forgetting.
Gwyn.
Yeah.
Alan.
The guy who was introduced in the first scene with Irina.
Gwyn.
Yeah, that's
okay,
Gwyn.
besides...
Who, yes, is essentially Alan.
Besides
That's
those
fair.
four, the only other person I can think of out of context is the feral mermaid lesbian girl.
Shiba?
Shiba.
Yeah, she's in
She's the
Blade
best.
2.
I was really
Okay,
confused.
crap, I have this wrong. Okay, moving this over in my notes.
Did you mean that you had the small child who writes robot fanfiction? Because that's in Blade Cross.
I do have that down here. The idea of giant robot fanfiction being canonical is ridiculous, and I love it.
Yeah, that was kind of what solidified Lynn as a good character for
She's
me.
still
think
kind
I
of an
agree with
annoying
that.
13-year-old and would probably require many, many hours before I love her.
That's fair, but when she was just like, actually, I have some skill fanfiction, I'm like, okay, you are my child and I love you.
Okay, so any other comments on Xenoblade Cross or Xenoblade 2 for that
I
matter?
can't tell those games apart. There are so many stray characters that have been previously discussed or not discussed in the server or in the art channel that I'm like, okay, you might belong to one of these two games, but I'm not quite sure which.
Alright.
Well, that
Fair
does
enough.
bring us to the next category of what are just some miscellaneous characters where you don't know where to associate them. It's okay, you can call me out.
We went through the entire list on both of the wikis the other night, and now I'm still blanking.
It's okay. I know that part of our going through the wikis was me going, I have to read you every single Nopon name, so that probably did hinder your brain's ability to absorb new information that was useful.
There was like a dozen really Russian names, and I said, okay, all of this goes into the saga pile because Cherenkov goes in the saga pile.
Mhm. I think you put all of the Van Houtens in the
I
saga
think
pile,
I did
if
that
recall
as
right.
well because it sounded like it should have been like, I don't know, some Cold War commentary in the background there.
Mhm.
There's a bajillion Uzukis, and not necessarily all of them go in the first game, even though I feel like they should all go in the first game.
So we'll say half the Uzukis go in the first game and half of them go in the
Sure,
second?
why not?
Okay.
We got two eye patch guys, blonde eye patch guy and black-haired eye patch guy.
Do you remember their names?
Bart and Zeke. I don't know which games
Yeah.
they go to, but like,
Nice.
they exist. Zeke has emojis. I still don't know how to use that particular expression.
It's fine.
That's my favorite.
Any other, like, random characters that you know of?
There was a Margie who did not go by that name,
Mhm.
and I only remember this because somebody else had mentioned that they were working on a cosplay for her.
Yes, actually I believe that I could... Fatima, where did you put the Fatimas?
I don't remember where we decided to put those.
But don't lump me in with this. I didn't decide anything.
I do not remember where the Fatima pile went, but all of them went in the same corner.
If I tell you that Bart was a Fatima, would
No.
that help you? Okay.
I am sorry.
I'm trying to think of other last names.
I didn't realize that people had last names for a while there.
Only some of them do. It's weirdly inconsistent, and also,
Like-
because of the way the wiki is organized, although a lot of the characters in Cross have last names, you don't know that until you click on the article, and I was just trying to list off names and help prompt you for information that you already knew, but you didn't quite recall.
Let me see, there was one other thing. Yeah, there was a hot second where I thought that Margie and Margulis might have been the same person. But then, looking at the emoji usage when there was the great renaming of all of them, instead because for a while they were all emoji 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 7 million. I realized that is not the case. Thankfully.
Some people refer to him as Margie, but
Wait,
no.
They are the same person?
They're not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
Tyler, oh my
Hey,
god, don't confuse them.
Xenosaga is Margie-less. That was bad.
It's okay.
You tried.
Okay.
Who else goes in the miscellaneous category? The turtle.
Oh,
What
yes,
do you
turtles.
do with the turtle?
You'll see.
I'm
Don't
very
worry about
worried
it.
about it. What do you do with the
About it.
turtle?
Don't worry about it.
Where does the turtle fit into the plot?
He does.
Just fits into a very small part of the plot.
Yeah.
'Cause he's small.
Okay,
It's well handled, I'll give you that.
I had to scribble something down here about the Minoff Dakimakura. Which I know exists in one of these games, but I don't know which, even though I was told like a half an hour before we started recording this which game they were from, and I'm like, wait, what? My notes are bad.
Yeah, Minoff, he is in Torna.
Face
Porno,
desk.
the Golden Country.
Wait,
And a little bit in the base game.
there is an N in that, right? Because there's
Yes.
no, in
Minoff?
Torna? Okay.
Torna. Yeah, Torna.
Okay, so it's not named after...
Yeah, don't mix Torna up with
did.
Torna.
Tora the Golden Nopon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nopon. My bad. In that game, it's Nopon.
it's the Golden Pawn.
On Golden Pond.
There was a couple other games that I remember seeing on actual Wikipedia, which we have not discussed. Which was Freaks, which I know nothing about. Most of you know nothing about. I think the only person who cares about that one was Jen.
I know a good deal about it. Yeah. It's just a hodgepodge of things.
And then there was Torna, which I know absolutely nothing about, except that it's not about the Golden Nopon. It should be about the Golden Nopon.
There might be something like that in there.
No, you're gonna tell me it's about a Golden Nopon and then the main character is gonna be blue. I guarantee it.
No, I'm not saying that it's about that. I'm just saying it might feature one.
And then there was something called Pied Piper, and the only reason Pied Piper came up at all is because somebody else on the server was writing a fanfic. The only notable thing about Pied Piper is that it's a mobile game instead of the rest of these, which are all console games. Which I'm like, why would you do that? But I guess there's something structurally about it that makes it better for a phone.
There's weird business decisions around multimedia presence at times in the gaming industry in general, so, you know.
Did we cover Xenosaga Freaks?
What was that?
Did we cover Xenosaga
Yes.
Freaks?
Yes.
Briefly,
I know
yeah.
nothing.
Briefly.
I think the consensus was no one cares about Jintoki. I'm just kidding. That was not what it was.
I'm the only one who cares.
Aw.
I actually really care about what's in that. I just not gotten to that yet.
Cosmos Kitty.
Yeah, I think when I was describing it, because, again, Cilantro was like, oh, what about these games? I was like, look, all I know about Xenosaga Freaks is Cosmos gets Catgirl.
Yes, which probably influenced
That literally happens.
which may have
That's
influenced
really
Poppy Dog
terrifying.
mode.
And it's canon.
Wait, Poppy was another character that I couldn't place. But then, weren't there like 4 Poppies?
There's 3 of them.
There are 4 in the sense that I listed 4 characters with Poppy in the name.
Yep. I know what you mean.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
The 4th one is sort of on the fence about how Poppy it is.
Are they all the same person?
Right. I mean, I kind of consider that 4th one to be a different...
That's very
Poppy.
That
understandable,
4th one-
but it does have Poppy in the
That
name.
4th one is like Poppy's butler. That
So
4th one is like the Jarvis of Xenosaga.
So it's like the assistant's assistant?
Sure.
Yeah. Like the orderly.
That's what I was thinking of, the orderly's orderly. And then there was Nia. Nia was another one I couldn't place, but... Somebody
Xenosaga.
mentioned this the
You
other
know,
night.
Any idea where Nia might go?
I don't know why Nia, but Nia exists, and I don't know what game she belongs to. But probably one of the latter
Nia,
ones because of how much better her art is as compared to some of the earlier ones.
Would you say that it seems like Nia has a strong character?
She's the cat girl. How does she not have strong character?
Yep, there you go.
She's also bright yellow. Nobody else is bright yellow.
Bloody hell.
Who walks around in
I
a
was gonna
yellow
say
one-piece
Citrine, but
suit?
that's not true. Okay. So, what are your expectations for the anime, given what you know?
Given what I know about this genre, which is animes that are adapted from video games, this could go in one of a couple different directions. One of them is a faithful adaptation that attempts to put too much plot in and not enough budget, which could go really well, or it could go really horribly. We saw what happened with the Fate series. We also saw what happened with the Dot Hack series.
Some of those Fate shows are pretty good.
I've been told that Fate Zero is amazing and Fate Stay Night is something you just have to suffer through in order to have context.
Just watch Unlimited Blade Works, it's much better.
And then Unlimited Blade Works is amazing, and I have not been able to sit through any of them because I'm like, wait a minute, I have to do this in order. I must do this in order.
Yeah, I kind of suffered through the original, so yeah, there's that.
Well, also, some of us can't watch television while we're doing work.
Fair.
It could also go off the deep end the way that, I hate to say it, but I don't even want to say it. It's such a gross anime.
Well, now you have to.
Now I have to.
You know what? Now I'm dying with
You keep us
anticipation.
hanging.
Kill la Kill, Italia.
Those aren't based off of a game though. Like,
Well, I just heard gross
oh,
anime.
okay, yeah.
And
Sword
yet more
Art
things to get
Online.
dolphined.
That's not even based off of a game, but it is bad, in my opinion.
Well, it's not based on a video game. The video games are
Right, but
based
still,
on that.
it's got the same trope as Dot Hack, which is trapped in a video game. So, as a video game-based anime, yeah,
Isekai.
well, okay. There's a very specific
Isekai,
niche
yeah.
for isekai that is video games. So, some of those are great, some of them are horrible, and a lot of the ones that are horrible often have way too much titty.
Hey, like, Steins Gate and Danganronpa, I think have pretty good anime.
Steins Gate? I do not recall that
Dramatical Murder had 0 to.
I'm pretty sure that
Sometimes it's a visual novel.
which is different from a video game. Like, if we're gonna
Okay,
go into
fair.
like Clannad territory, I haven't seen that either, but I know it's not about sexualizing the characters.
Yeah, that's
It's about
completely fair.
kawaii-fying the characters.
Yeah.
So, given all the previous complaints we've made about certain people's lack of pants and the gregarious windows, I am very scared for Cosmos. Very, very scared for Cosmos.
I don't know how she could possibly have less pants.
I mean, I'm with you guys, but say what you will.
I'm
After
scared about
this
that
whole-
boob window.
After this whole work from home quarantine thing, I can only see lack of pants as a plus for me personally.
That's fair. I mean, my job was just not feasible to do from home, so when I went there, I had to wear pants again.
That's completely fair as well.
It isn't fair. I wish I could wear shorts.
Shorts are at least pretty nice, yeah. I wear shorts on a daily
you-
basis here lately.
Let's turn our podcast into a complain about standards podcast.
Let's complain about standards. You should be able to wear shorts, but also you have air conditioning. We don't have air conditioning here.
That's true. You're allowed to not wear pants, though.
But I will.
Alright.
I also live in a swamp,
there-
so hey.
So now that we have confirmed that Nick is actually Shrek,
The other day, okay, so I was not going to bring this up, but the other day I made the connection that Shrek and Fiona was way too close to Shulk and Fiora for my liking.
Yeah, mine too.
holy shit! Somebody already made a post about that on Tumblr,
Oh
I hate
no. Is there
which
like...
included like
is
"Wake
there a
up,
photo?
Well,
Oh,
it
the
had
Sony
to be
really-
said out loud in podcast form in that case. So there you go.
I never... Oh my god.
Man, I never thought about that until you said
That's
it.
cursed. Yeah,
Now I
neither
can't
did I.
unsee
Oh my
it, and
God.
I didn't need that.
No.
I was being polite and not bringing it up.
And with
I
that, we
didn't
should
want
probably end
to,
the
but you
episode.
forced my hand.
Alright, so what's everybody working on these days?
Alright, yeah, let's...
Okay. Yeah, we can.
We
can
can
wrap
cut
it up
all that
there.
previous part.
Yeah.
No, it's Stag. It's Stag.
All right.
I think the world needs
but
to
anyway,
know about
uh,
Shulk and Fiora.
Alright.
Hey, go on, Jin.
Okay, Justin, why don't you share with us if there's anything you got going on these days?
Okay. So I am currently working on some reviews. I'm reviewing the recently released Ogre Tale, and I'm also going to be doing an anime review real soon. I plan on reviewing Weathering with You. G-Kids has a new release of that coming up soon, so I'm going to be reviewing that. It's going to be great. And also, we were talking about Kickstarters earlier on the podcast and like backing things. So today I backed Eiyuden Chronicle. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a new project coming up. It's an RPG that looks freaking awesome. It's like an old school style turn-based RPG made by some of the people who worked on the Suikoden series. Remember Suikoden? That really cool RPG series that kind of just faded into obscurity and Konami stopped making them. Well, they got some of the people who used to work on them. They're just like, yeah, let's get some of the old boys together and let's make a game that's kind of like it, but not quite like it. So it's like a spiritual successor in a way. And it looks absolutely fantastic. It's made a ton of money at this point. Like, it's more than reached its pledging goal. Like, its goal was $503,000. It's made over $4 million.
Gosh.
So it's going crazy right now. A lot of people are backing it. Unfortunately, by the time this podcast is up, the crowdfunding campaign will be over. So I can't really tell you to go out and back this. However, I can say to keep this game on your radar because it does look really cool. And a lot of these Kickstarter projects that get funded, especially games, they do end up on retail shelves. At least so far we've seen that. Like with Bloodstained, that ended up on retail. Same for Shenmue 3 and even Mighty No. 9, even though I know people have opinions about Mighty No. 9, but still, it's worth mentioning anyways. So yeah, just keep an eye on Eiyuden Chronicle. If you really like old RPGs, especially if you like Suikoden, this game might tickled that itch. So yeah, check it out.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely seems interesting.
Even for people who like
Okay.
Octopath, it's got like some of those vibes as well. It looks really good.
Yes,
Just wanna
it
add.
very
Yeah,
much looks...
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Nick, since you just spoke, what have you been up to?
Oh, not a whole lot lately. I've just been kind of trying to catch up on, games and stuff. If you want to follow me at Nickelberg on Twitter, there's that. I sometimes rarely post art, but a lot of times I just post screenshots from games that are goofy, fun stuff, I suppose. Not too much. Yep.
That's valid. All right, Robin.
I'm in the middle of writing a fanfic to try to make Ryan and Charla less of a replacement goldfish pair.
You did.
Also, if you're into things getting wrapped up in cling film, I made the horrible decision to publicly post Metal Face getting wrapped up.
It was
in cling
wonderful.
film.
What are you talking about?
Horrible decision, really.
It was wonderful.
I will hopefully be working on my Redbubble store a bit more, so it doesn't have just one design.
One great design.
It's a good design, but it's one design. But right now, it's really hot in my room, and the concept of sitting in here to make art is just like, no.
Aww.
When it gets cooler, I will do more art.
Yeah. Alright, Cilantro, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
You guys know what my weekend plans are. I'm gonna be sitting down in front of that television and playing Xenogears.
And I will be there telling you, well, you can play rock, paper, scissors, or you can't. That's cool.
Sounds like a good
Make
weekend
sure
to
you
me.
jump
Yeah.
into the well in Lahan so you can get the soap for Groff.
Oh, yeah, keep jumping into the well.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That will be well on the living
Just-
walkthrough.
Just
advice.
keep on doing it. Trust me, the soap is down there.
Oh my gosh.
And how about you, Tyler? What are you working on?
I've still been working with on some like news articles, and I've been given permission to write more Xeno stuff, so I will be writing that in the future. And I recently guested on RPG Fans podcast, Retro Encounter, for a quiz show episode, which was a really fun experience. So, and I got to plug XenoChat, so that was pretty cool. That they let me do that.
Nice.
All right. So other than that, I believe we're gonna try to do a part 2 to this after Cilantro's steps more into the anime and possibly talk more about Xenogears in the future.
Yeah, I know they want to lure Justin into actually physically visiting us. Like, we're hoping that we'll just bake something that smells really, real good, and, like, Justin will just be led on the step lines, like in the cartoons.
Justin's gonna be like those cartoons
I'll just
where, like,
float over there.
there's a visible odor in the air, and he's just like, he floats along.
Yeah, and just float.
Yeah, and that is how he will
Float
make his
across a
way
river.
from his state to our state.
It's not that far.
I know.
It's not.
But I can't remember if he has disclosed his state, though I know we have disclosed our state of New York.
All right, and
I'm
then
from
okay,
I'm
we
from
should have
Ewok.
the two. What?
Right now I'm from a fucking liquid state with how goddamn
I
hot
said
it
I'm from the
is.
swamp. That's all.
Both of those are accurate.
Sorry. So we should have our 2-year anniversary episode up by the time this one's up, along with personal stories episode. And oh yeah, we're gonna be working on the references and winks and nods
Yeah, I
episode.
wouldn't try to date this one too much since this was I don't know when this one will be released, since it's a companion episode to an episode that doesn't exist.
Yeah, we'll see when we get there. But yeah, anyway,
We'll
that's
figure it
kind of
out.
what we have. Yeah, that's what we have planned for the future. All right.
Add
So
this
yeah,
to the
thanks,
Patreon
everyone.
episode.
Yes, because
Yes, our Patreon episode where we read the Metal Face getting wrapped up. in
Definitely.
we will try.
Yes.
I don't know if we need to be making reference to all these episodes that may or may not exist, kind of thing.
Yeah, this is very much a companion episode, so it depends on a different episode's existence.
We'll get to it.
I guess. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Take it
we got
away.
plans. All right, so yeah, thanks everybody for joining me tonight. It was really fun, and good luck to Cilantro in your voyage through the Xeno fandom. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Voyager!
Yeah.
Xeno fan.
Thanks for coming on tonight, everybody, and thank you, Cilantro, for sticking with us for this. I'm very surprised that you're willing to be on a
I'm
ride with
surprised
us.
too, believe it or not.
Well, I kidnapped you, so you have no choice.
Alright.
Yeah,
Fair.
Right. Okay. Good night,
Alright.
Xeno fan.
All right.
Bye.
It's never gonna catch on.
It's never going to.
Take care, everybody.
Save the game?
Okay, I'm recording
Alright.
now.
You're
But now I
back,
have to do. I gotta do the beer thing.
Alright, go get the
And
beer.
rinse out the can
Okay.
thing.
Don't rinse out the can. We can do that later. Just go get the beer.
I could go rinse out the can because I'm not inconsiderate.
This is a great way to open the episode up. I just can't wait for everyone to be confused.
I'll just leave this in right here, unedited.
I thought we were going to do that, but
Yeah, I thought so too, but
how
I
professional.
don't care.
It's fine.
it's fine.
I honestly thought everyone was going to, shut up so you could be like, hello, welcome to XenoChat. I mean,
Hold
we're
on.
recording this right now.
Yeah, but we gotta wait for that.
I can edit this. It's no worries.
We gotta wait for bot now.
I gotta
Welcome
make
to
certain I
XenoChat.
talk directly into the mic.
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Yeah. Please pay us. Head on, please. It's like the, apply directly to the forehead. Apply pressure directly to the glass on the Elsa. Cosmos.
Don't worry, it's okay.
I got a Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it's a Mikan flavored Kit Kat.
I think the last time I looked through, the flavored Kit Kats, I found, some kind of walnut flavored one. It was... I don't think I ended
This
up
is just gonna
buying
be
it.
hard for me when I'm editing because I'll be like, do I get rid of my chair sit noises or no?
No, that's... The chair is a character in the
Me.
stage play.
Oh, sorry. Also, let me get this nice and cracked. There we go. Okay, that's cracked open. Ugh.
That was crisp.
Let's take care of this.
was to make a game about Groff seeking out a shower to use, and you would just play as Graf
We
in a
lost you.
bathhouse, and it would be
Did he fall into the
like a
shadow
little
realm?
RPG
Shadow
Maker
realm.
game.
The shower
Because
realm.
I think that
Oh god.
yeah.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
He got out.
I know, we lost
The
him.
what? What? Am I not here? Oh.
You're here.
He went into the
now.
shadow realm for a
Oh,
second.
did it cut me out? Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
3, 2, 1. Describe it again.
My existence is infinite!
Oops. I dropped a cap. And now that's spinning around. Okay, that fell. That was excellent footage. I hope we keep that
I
forever.
mean, there's a lot of
Okay, good job!